welcome to this set. This is the yoga set for starting over. This is about whether it's having been out of the flow of practice for a while, whether it's entering a new phase in life, whether it's that refreshing, replenishing start of the new year, whatever that might mean for you. And what we're going to do is start on the floor, move our way up, so we're reminding ourselves of a posture we can do on each level, something that we can visit each section, each posture in and of itself if we want to, and remembering that in that starting over we're connecting with ourselves, our root, our hibernation, and making a process of emergence as we start over and make our way into the world. This can be done as a nice gentle set, and it could be something that's quite nice to do in the morning, for example, to get yourself up and mobilised and going. So we're going to start down in baby pose. So whether that's kneeling or whether you've got a cushion supporting a blanket maybe underneath your ankles, a cushion between your heels and your buttocks. If you are more comfortable having your legs a bit wider, you can do that. Bringing your forehead to the floor, or if it's more comfortable for you, bringing a cushion between the forehead and the floor, so you're making contact between your forehead and the supporting surface. We're bringing the arms by our sides, palms facing up. We're allowing the shoulders to relax down. The shoulders are relaxing, dropping down towards the floor, which is creating an opening between the shoulder blades in our upper back. Creating an opening through the glutes, tops of the buttocks, into your lower back, through your shoulders. Allowing yourself to arrive here in whatever your starting place is, wherever you may have been hibernating, wherever your point of safety is. Hanging in a comfort zone, avoiding a challenge or a practice can all be part of looking after ourselves. So we're just taking stock here. Where have we been hanging? What have we been avoiding? What's our intention in starting over now? And just breathing into that, acknowledging and appreciating that maybe you've been looking after yourself in the avoidance, or in the hanging out in that comfort zone, and that now is the time that you want to emerge and start over. You're choosing this time for yourself now. Breathing in and out through your nose as you will throughout the practice, allowing the eyes to close as you will if comfortable to at any point throughout the practice. Allowing that breath to get deeper and feeling what it is to let yourself just be in a posture like this. Taking another deep cycle of the breath. And this time we're going to use the next inhale to draw the fingertips forward, extending out into an extended child pose. And we're going to focus the awareness with the breath now. So the fingertips are stretching forward, the coccyx is stretching back, bringing those buttocks down over your heels. Maybe using a cushion between the heels and the buttocks if it helps you make contact there. And drawing the awareness to the breath, inhaling, drawing the awareness to the
base of your spine. Exhaling, drawing your awareness out as you reach those fingertips as far forward as you can. So using that breath to help create an elongation through the spine. And we're going to begin our journey of emergence out from where we have been cocooned away to emerging as we start over into that world. And before we face it with our faces, we're going to explore it with our fingertips, wiggling with fingers like they're little wiggly spiders or something, exploring out that world in front of you, just seeing where they go, how far they can reach if they wiggle and squiggle and wiggle a tiny bit further forward. And we're going to allow those wiggly fingertips just to walk round to one side, squiggling along, all the way over to one side. So if you're on your left side, for example, you're creating a long stretch through the right side of the body. You might just pause here for a moment. Take a few deep breaths. Again, using that inhale to draw the awareness to the base of the spine. The exhale to draw the awareness up through that side body and out through those fingertips that maybe wiggle and explore a little bit. And maybe allowing those fingertips to wander their way back to the centre and over to the other side. So if we're on your left side with your fingers, you're now on your right, or the other way around, and you're creating a long stretch through the side of the body. Again, maybe pausing here. Taking some extra deep breaths, breathing into that base of the spine, following the exhale with awareness travelling up through that side body. Maybe giving those fingertips another little squiggle, exploring out to that side. And we'll move them back, walking into the centre. So we've had a nice explore with those fingertips and that world outside. Maybe we'll move them one arm to one side, one arm to the other, so we're exploring almost back behind us, squiggling those fingertips, exploring a full circle around us, reaching as far forward as they can. Right arm squiggling around to the right side, left arm to the left side, wandering their way along, all the way around behind. Can they even explore onto the soles of your feet? And wiggling over back to the front. You know that perimeter's safe there, ready for us to emerge into as we start over. So wandering those little squiggly fingertips back to the hands at either side of the head, palms facing down. And we're going to inhale and come up into all fours. So we're just going to step the knees back a little bit so our knees are directly below our hips. They're about hip distance apart, so maybe two fist widths between the knees. Hands are below your shoulders. And we're going to come into a sweeping cat-cow now. So we bring our buttocks back towards our heels. And as we inhale, we drop the forehead towards the floor. Line that forehead along the floor as we inhale, elbows are bent. And with the end of the inhale, we're coming up into that arc, the head's tilted up to the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to tuck the coccyx under, draw those buttocks back to the ground, and come back down into that extended child pose. And we're just going to follow a few more cycles of this with the breath. You might flow. You find a pace that works for you. Could be super slow. Could be a bit speedier, just starting to think how you're emerging out. You might think now's the time that you'd like to open your eyes a little and see what this world is that we've explored with our fingertips, that we're ready to emerge into and start over in. Or you might think, I'll keep my eyes closed and just stay immersed in this sensation of this practice for now. Maybe noticing as you bend and straighten the arms and arc through the spine, any sensations through your shoulder blades, any crunches happening in your knees. If you need to pause at any point, you can always just do that child pose again, or any posture that would work for you. And we're just going to do one more cycle of this sweeping cat-cow. And we're going to sit back onto our heels, lean forward onto the hands again, tuck the toes under. With the toes tucked under, we're going to sit up onto our heels. Oh. Stretching through the soles of the feet, and our wrists have been working quite hard, so maybe interlacing the fingers and just waving the hands around a bit, loosening off through the hips, through the wrists and through the soles of the feet. Coming down onto all fours, tapping out the feet, feet straight, tops of the feet tapping onto the ground. And we tuck those toes under again, walk the hands back till we're coming down, all the way down into a squat. So this is like a crow. We've got the feet turned, pointing out to the corners of the room, and you might be fully down in this squat. You might have some cushions supporting you at whatever level. You might use a wall to support you. Just finding wherever you want to be the right squat for you today. And once you're there, maybe supporting your hips and that opening through the hips by putting your elbows on the insides of your knees, bringing the palms of your hands together. So you're really stretching through an opening in the hips here. And allowing your breath to land. Maybe allowing your eyes to close, thinking about extending your spine. Can you hold that spine straight? Can you tuck your chin slightly in towards the back of your neck? What we call a neck lock, creating an elongation through the spine to the top of the head. Just taking some deep breaths here. Again, using that awareness with the breath, the inhales, drawing that awareness to that base of the spine, out towards the floor, grounding you down to that secure place that you've been waiting in, holding yourself in. And the exhale draws the awareness up through the spine, through the neck, through the top of the head, and out into that world that we're ready to emerge into, start over, engaging with. And with that awareness of that world we're ready to start engaging with, we're going to take another deep inhale, holding the breath for the moment. And with the exhale, we're going to hold the squat posture, but extend the hands forward and out into that world. So still using that breath. The breath takes us right into the coccyx, to that ground. The exhale takes us right out, up through the spine, through the shoulders, through the fingertips, out into the world. And you may want to open your eyes and look forward now. You may breathe out through the mouth, with a powerful breath forward into that world that we're going to go into. We're going to start exploring that world, wiggling those fingertips forward. You might wiggle them around in circles. You might wiggle them across the ground, up to the different sides, out to the sky above, wiggling those fingers into that world. And when we think we've prepared that world in front of us for us to enter further into, we'll wiggle those fingers back down to the ground and walk those fingers in towards the feet as we extend up through the legs, straightening the legs, bringing the feet parallel. And we're hanging down here, stretching through the backs of the legs. So you might have a cushion on the floor to support your hands wherever they come. Your hands might reach flat on the floor. You might hug your elbows so that you can hang down. You might use a wall to lean your head against or your back against to support you in this hanging stretch. As you extend through the back of the legs, your heels grounding you down into that safe, secure, held space. The backs of the legs stretching out, the lower back stretching out. Again, using that breath and awareness, that inhale drawing all the way down the legs to the heels into the ground. The exhale coming all the way up through that spine. Allowing your breath to get nice and deep. If you need to, maybe bending alternate knees, or if you want to create a different stretch through the backs of the legs, through the tops of the glutes. You could hold the knees bent if that feels good. You could bend and straighten both legs. You could just hang and relax. If you've been holding those elbows, maybe allow the hands to just drop down now as your fingertips are towards the ground. And we're going to come back to that theme of the practice, those wiggly, exploring fingertips on the ground or towards the ground, maybe a little bit helping you swing, wiggling to the left, wiggling to the right, those squiggly fingers, exploring it all, adding some additional stretch through the side bodies. And we're going to wiggle those fingers out in front, back towards the feet, and they're going to explore all the way up your legs. So squiggling those fingers, you might bend the knees as you roll yourself up, unrolling yourself as those fingers just squiggle around your knees, up your thighs, around your hips, bringing you rolled all the way up to standing. We'll roll our shoulders round and back. Maybe inhaling as the shoulders come forward and upward, exhaling as they go back and down. And maybe changing the direction, rolling the shoulders in the other direction, finding a breath that works for you with that. Maybe bringing those shoulders into a bit of more movement, so we might activate those wiggly fingers again. We might roll the shoulders first, one forward, then the other, one back, then the other, almost rolling the shoulders in a kind of figure of eight. We might just move the body. The squiggly fingers might be exploring the space in front of us, behind us, round. You might sweep those hands with the wiggly fingers in figures of eight in front of you, or out to the sides. Creating more movement free from the torso, just loosening your body up. You find a bit that crunches or a bit that feels good or tight. You might want to just repeat that bit a few times, giving yourself just a kind of self-massage through movement. And we're going to slow that down and come up to standing. Pause. Allow the breath to just find its own pattern. As we've come here, emerged out of our cocoons and ready to start over into whatever
sounds for you. Just allowing the breath to find its own rhythm. Noticing if you can release any tension in any muscles in the body. You might be finding you're clenching your thighs, your buttocks. Shoulders might be able to drop a little bit more. Your face might be able to relax a little bit more. Pausing here, absorbing and integrating what this practice has been for you, where you are now, how you feel in relation to starting over, stepping out and emerging into this world. And as we prepare to really emerge from the practice, let's extend those fingers down towards the floor as they're out to our sides. Maybe wiggle those fingertips like they're reaching all the way down. And then following those wiggly fingers, we're going to rotate the arms up in front of us, keeping those fingers wiggling so the arms are extending out as far as they can in every direction, till they're up above our heads, out to the sky. With that inhale, exhaling, sweeping them back, those wiggly fingers making big arcing circles around behind us. Inhaling up, exhaling down, just a few more circles of this. And we're going to inhale up, hold the breath, stretch those fingertips up to the sky. And when we exhale, we're going to shake those hands. We're showering ourselves with whatever magic, sparkle, glitter, snowflakes, whatever it might be that's going to take us out, give us the power that we need to start over and step into that world. Oh, and maybe we'll take a deep inhale and slide with the exhale as we do it. Maybe let yourself make a bit of silly sounds. Loosening off those facial muscles as we do it. And exhaling, allowing those hands to drop down. Taking a few breaths as we land back into some stillness. And noticing the sensations in our body, the feelings and thoughts that we have as we prepare to step out. If you've got time, you might want to lie down and relax at this point for as long as you like, or if you're ready to go, you might take stock here and gently open your eyes. Look forward, tilt your chin down to your chest as your gaze moves down towards the floor. Inhaling, tilting your head back up. Exhaling, pausing here. We might inhale as we turn the gaze, looking over the left shoulder. Exhaling, turning that gaze as we look back forward. Inhaling, tilting that gaze to the right shoulder. Exhaling as we tilt that gaze back forward. Inhaling here, exhaling, dropping that chin down, gaze coming to the floor. We're going to inhale as we roll the head towards the left ear, that gaze guiding along the floor towards the left. Exhaling, rolling the chin towards the middle of the chest, the gaze moving back to the floor in front of you. And then inhaling, tilting the head round towards the right shoulder, gaze moving across the floor to the right side. Exhaling, rolling it forward, back to centre. I'm going to inhale that head back up. Maybe just scrunch the face around, look about a bit more, take in everywhere that there is in the room or the space that we're in. And with that, prepare to close the practice, start over and engage in the world however we're going to from now on.